everyone. Welcome back to another week on the Final Points, the last week of the PGA Tour regular season as we round out the 2021-2022 season. Been a solid one, Matt.
It's been fun. It's come too fast, honestly. Started Masters week, and ever since then, it's been awesome. I appreciate you guys having me on. I appreciate working with you. It's been so much fun, and yeah, I'm ready to keep it going. We got 2 weeks of 2 week off weeks after the playoffs, and then we're rolling. So
Yep.
yeah, final week of the regular season. I am excited to say the least.
Yep. Football's finally ramping up. I know we have the fantasy points party at the Expo in a week and a half. So things are ramping up. Golf is trending in the right direction. Kind of threw this whole team together within almost a month, like you said, back in April. And what a start already. So next year, who knows what's going to happen. But this week, last event of the regular season, I already mentioned, the Wyndham Championship at Sedgefield Country Club, a par 70, measuring just over 7,100 yards. 44% of the holes are par 4s from 4 to 450, so that's something that I'm looking at. Outside of that, Matt, like ball striking, approach, putting, course history, like it's there's nothing specific I'm looking at.
No, it's pretty straightforward. You can do it you can stick all your wedges close to 4 feet and then make those putts, or you can just putt your way. Guys have done it either way. Guys who are long have done it. Guys who are very accurate. This is one of the courses that tends to go towards accurate hitters. For everyone knows that, but we're gonna have to try to find ways because everyone's gonna be looking at the same guys, the Kevin Streelmans of the world, those types of guys. So we'll try to find a few ways to get a little bit different and then see where we go from there.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of shorter hitters last year. Kevin Kisner, 15 under in a 6-man playoff. 2020, Jim Crazy. 21 under. JT Poston in 2019 at 22 under. 2018 was Brandt Snedeker at 21 under. And then in 2017, Henrik Stenson, Live Golf Hall of Famer, won at 22 under. So a lot of guys who can get hot with the putter and good short game guys. Like no bombers, I would say.
There's going to be some bombers that are going to be very under the radar who can, if they just have an accurate driving week, they have such an advantage. If Will Zalatoris is playing out of the fairway consistently, I think he's going to win.
Yeah.
Or contend.
Agreed. I've been looking at him very hard. It's 10K range is tough. Looking at last year, I mentioned Kisner won. 9 golfers were T7 or better. 4 of the 9 were in the 9K range. So almost half of the guys that were T7 or better were in the 9K range. 7 of the 9 up here were 8.3 or higher. The only 2 that did not fall into that category, Roger Sloan, you mentioned last week. Summer Roger Sloan last year. He was T2 here at $6,700. And then Brendan Grace was also T2 in that playoff at $7,400. The rest of the guys, Kevin Streelman was $8,300 and above from there. So stars and scrubs maybe, but you're going to want some exposure to guys at the top.
Yes, for sure. And there's different ways to do it every single week. You mentioned Roger Sloan. Can't wait to get there because I'll be on him again. He helped me out last week a little bit. So, yeah, I'm ready to get into it.
All right, let's do it. 10K range. I think there's 3 elite guys here. If you want to throw course history out the window, I said it last night with Sam. Will Zalatoris, Shane Lowry, Sung Jae Im, and then a pretty big drop-off. I mean, Webb is at 10-7 because of the course history. Okay, I get it. But it's a pretty big price increase based off of what we've seen a majority of the year. And then Billy Horschel, I mean, I feel like he's just thrown in there. He could definitely be in the upper 9s or 10 flat, but here we are with the 10s. I don't have any very strong leans up here, Matt. I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty heavy in the 9s. Where are you going up here?
Yeah, this was probably the most back and forth. This is probably the most back and forth I've ever been on a tournament, probably this season. I probably manipulated and made 7 different betting cards, and I was like, I can do this, but then I could do this. I like these favorites, and I like all of these guys. What am I gonna do? I ended up landing on Shane Lowry as my top guy, DFS.
God. Don't do this to me.
And I never play Lowry ever. I played him once. It was the Canadian Open. I played him once, and he's starting my card at 17-1. He's starting majority of my DFS lineups, and he just checked so many boxes for me, and I kind of was galaxy raining myself. Like Sungjae had success here. How did he do at the Honda Classic that year? Okay, good. How did
Yeah.
Shane Lowry do at the Honda Classic this year? Oh, he should have won if it didn't rain. Heritage, great finish. The short positional course is a great finish. Lowry's profile, and kind of gotten under the radar. Hasn't played as much, I guess, because it's major season. But the ball striking is still there completely. He's got great results here, so I'm in on Shano as my top guy. He's going to be a bit chalky. I think Sungjae is going to come in as the highest guy. Ownership wise, but Shane is going to be right behind him, I believe. So I'm going to go Shane Lowry, eat some chalk, and I think he is going to have a great finish. 17-1 is also I bet him at.
It's a good number. And I mentioned with Sam last night because Sam had Lowry on his card. You were getting Lowry at like 22, 25 to 1 in some of these majors.
Right, yeah.
And now you're getting him at the Wyndham at 17 in a field that is like, I mean, Zalatoris, Lowry, M drop off.
Yes.
The majors are way different, and you're only getting 5 to 7 more points. It's insane.
It was so close for me. I was like, okay, this Sungjae, he's the man this week. Like Bermuda positional course, that is Sungjae M. Then I was like, everyone's gonna be on Sungjae M. Everyone's betting Sungjae M. I was splitting hairs between these guys. Like you can honestly flip a coin. I went with Lowry. It was just like there were so many different things. But you know, Sungjae, his thing is he's a Bermuda god. The last like year, he's been just objectively better on bent grass, and I don't know, like coincidental. Don't know why. Sure he can have a great putting performance this week. His career hierarchy has been Bermuda, but I don't think Sungjae's the guy this week because I don't know. I like Lowry. It's splitting hairs up here. It's $100 difference, same betting number for the most part. So I'm going with Lowry as my top guy, and I am sprinkling Zalatoris. I was close to getting to him in the betting market, and this is going to sound crazy, but if there wasn't rain forecasted for this weekend, I was betting Zalatoris. Last year, the Wyndham Championship ended at -16, I think, -15, got into a playoff,
15,
something like that.
Yeah. Yep.
And it was very, very dry for a month leading up to that. No rain in the forecast. It's been wet there recently, which what that means is going to play a lot softer, going to be easier to make birdies. I'm saying I set the line at 18.5 winning score, juice to the over. I think it'll be more towards 19-20. Which means you're going to have to make more birdies. And we know what Zalatoris is, but I really think he will be in contention this week. He's played this course upwards of 70 times, went to college down the street. Vibes are there, narratives there. There's going to be a bunch of go deeks when you're watching PGA Tour live between him and Webb. So I like Zalatoris a lot as well. I didn't get there as my top guy, or I didn't get there in the betting market, but I sprinkled some Zalatoris.
Yeah, the only interests I have in DFS are the same two as you, Zalatoris. Shane went back and forth with him. It's just the ownership. People are looking at that second place finish at the 3M a little too closely, I think, and pushing that a little more than they should. How are you approaching Webb Simpson?
Okay, so I was thinking about going to Webb Simpson this week, like just off of no one's really going to play him. He's going to be like maybe 10%, maybe a little bit lower than that. In his presser, he basically said, how are you feeling, Webb? Are you injured? Like, I know this isn't the season you've been asking for. And he basically said that his like injuries or like lack of results was, it was from him trying to gain distance the last 2 years. And like the side effects are wearing off now. He like didn't have any like real symptoms. He was playing good. He was longer. And now they're starting to trickle into his swing, and it's just not feeling right. But he says he feels confident, even though he basically said, I'm feeling confident, but I'm turning in 50th place finishes. I feel like I could win this week. I feel like my game's fine. But this is arguably the worst form he's had heading into a Wyndham Championship, which he literally named his daughter after. Literally did that. So this is the worst form he had. I just can't get there on a guy who's losing tee to green 3 straight weeks, and he's one of the better tee to green players of the last decade. So I'm just
not even like recent form. It's just like, I mean, the last top 10 finish he had was the RSM back in November.
Yeah, which is like the same course, but
in the last 3 events, John Deere, Open Championship, Rocket Mortgage, lost strokes on approach in all 3. So I get the course history, but the price for me just doesn't do it. And that's where the low ownership is going to come in. So if you want to take a course history narrative and run with it, be my guest. But at 10-7, I don't feel like it's the place to do it.
I do not believe he will finish in the top 15, which is, I can say that's a kind of a bold statement because of what he's done at the Wyndham. I mean, maybe not because it's form so bad, but like you're going to kind of need that at 10-7. So I don't believe it's going to happen. Like I really don't.
Agree.
Real quick.
Yes.
What's your thoughts on Billy Horschel? You just think he's a smidge overpriced?
I do. 10-3, I don't absolutely love, but I mean, he's been hitting a lot of greens, doesn't rate out fantastic for me. I just don't see myself paying 10-3 for Horschel in a spot like this. I mean, made 2 of his last 3 cuts. He fits the profile of the guys that have won here in the past. He obviously has a win earlier this season at the Memorial, but 10-3, I would much rather try and get to Lowry or Am, regardless of ownership.
So Billy Horschel was the first guy I bet this week, 24-1, and in all my lineups. I was like, okay, I love Billy Horschel. He ranks 18th on tour in driving accuracy. He's above average wedge player, especially when he's on, and he's one of the better putters on tour, especially on Bermuda. And at the Wyndham Championship, last time he was here, 2nd. The year before that, 6th, 11th, 60th, 5th. Great course history. He's made I think it's 8 out of 9 or 9 out of 10 cuts. All amazing. Bet him. Then this morning, his presser came out. This is what he said. And I was like, they said, Billy, how's your game been entering this week? He literally said, it's not as sharp as I like. I had to take a few weeks off because of what we had coming up. I had to spend time with my family, and there's some tweaks I have to work out with my coach. It's not where I want it to be. Like, how could I play that? He's not confident.
You can't. You can't play that. And it's not like guys don't go out of their way to lie, especially in this situation. Like, Horschel has his win this season. He's already in the playoffs. Like, he's just here probably to get his game together for the playoffs because they can make a fraction of what the guys on Live are making.
Right.
And it's the only time they can make this type of money. So, yeah, he's probably trying to get his game together. And it could be 2 rounds and he just goes to the first playoff event. Like,
exactly. Like, I feel like he said that as like a life hedge in case he just has like a shitty performance. Then like he's like, I said it. My game's not where I need it to be. Like I needed to have this event under my shoulder. And she also said, what are some of the aspects you're looking into to fine tune entering the playoffs? He said, I think just ball striking. It would have been nice to have a few more days hitting balls, but I didn't have the time to. Like, he's not ready to play in a PGA Tour event, it seems.
Right. I agree. It's almost like coach speak, but from someone directly, like NFL coach speak, where you can either buy fully into it or completely ignore the noise and buy into the golfer that you know is there, which if it clicks, it clicks. But if he's personally saying that it's not there, and people can be hypercritical of themselves and kind of get down, and say some of these things, but if that's where he truly feels his game is at, it's hard to trust him, especially at 10-3.
Yeah, like I was all over him, everything, but I just can't get there after that quote.
All right, 9K.
9K.
I got 2 guys I'm probably starting my teams with, and 3 that I'm very interested in. I was on Henley last week. I probably won't fully fade him, but Connor's at 9-6. I will be on him. Last 3 events he's played were majors, just like Henley kind of last week. Last time he played a non-major event was the RBC Canadian Open, where he finished in a solo 6th. Plays these shorter par 70s extremely well, which is a trend in like some of the guys that I'm looking at. They check the box in terms of like recent form for some of the stats I'm looking at, and on the shorter par 70s. Last 2 months, #1 in ball striking, #1 in greens regulation, #1 in my overall model. I mean, 3rd in approach.
Who was Henley?
30s. Connors.
Okay.
Connors. I am at 9-6. And then 9-4. Before I get into it, Matt, I mean, we all know I'm a Hatton guy. Some things won't change, and this is one of them. But when you give me a price tag of $9,400 for the 27th ranked golfer in the world, I'm going to jump on it. I mean, the thing is, he's not going to rate out well for most people, especially in short form, because Open Championship, Genesis Scottish Open aren't going to pop up on most people's models depending on where they're making them. But back-to-back starts over there, T11 at the Open, T24 at the Genesis, where he was top 10 in the field in strokes gained approach. Missed the cut here at the Wyndham in 2016. Was very good on approach, struggled putting. I like Hatton just based off of what type of player he is, what we know he's capable of, and being sub 10K.
I was going to get to Hatton off of ownership. It's not high by any means, but it was higher than like if it was at a certain number, I was going to play it just off that. Couldn't get there, but I do like your call on Hatton's price point and the class of player he is.
It looks like he's going to be the lowest owned guy above 9K.
Yeah, I know he will be. He should be. Yeah, except for Varner, he's going to be 9 flat. But you see Varner coming in heavier than him?
I do.
Okay, I see different, but we'll see how that pans out. For now, Varner. I'm on Varner, and I'm on Varner and Russell Henley. But I could be talked out of Russell Henley and switching him for Connors. Is it kind of squeamish a little bit? This is objectively the perfect course for Russell Henley. Yeah. He's going to be very, 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 very highly owned. Decent finish last week. He went out in like 31 on Sunday or something crazy. Kind of had a worse back 9, but he gained how many? I got to see how many strokes he gained ball striking last week. It was kind of the first event he's played. He's played just all the majors and then the Rocket.
Yeah, he was the same thing I said last week. Just major. And then that.
Major, casual +7 strokes ball striking. Like he was injured earlier in the season. Yep. He did like withdraw from a few events. Like he rates out an amazingly every bucket range, driving accuracy. But is it ownership? Do I have to go to Corey Connors? Because I like Corey Connors as well. He's great in these bucket ranges. He's a similar accuracy. Is he the better putter long term as Russell Henley? No, but right now they're kind of going in opposite directions. I think.
Yeah,
Henley's putt.
Sam said Henley's chalk worries me a lot.
I think I'm going to switch it to. I think I'm going to go to Connors.
I don't love playing guys off of a ceiling week, which I think Henley did have last week, when they're in a certain tier. Like Finau's different. And I wasn't, not to say I was on Finau last week. I wasn't. But he's a guy that's capable of it. We even mentioned he rates out perfectly for the Rocket Mortgage. Neither of us were fully sold on him. I mean, it's hard to go back to back. You don't see it every week. But with a guy like Russell Henley, and when you're paying 9.8K and getting that high of ownership, I would just rather drop down to like starting my lineups with Connors and Hatton can do just about whatever I want, and I'm not going to have a very popular lineup at all.
Yeah, so I think after talking myself through this, I'm gonna go with Connors, fully fade Henley, and that's kind of sad because I was like ready for the Henley revenge tour after what happened last season, but some people in the industry are on them that may not have the best results. I'm very weird with that type of stuff. He's a lot of people are on him. I don't know. Chalk. I'll go with Corey Connors at 10% less ownership.
Yeah.
Some in some spots. So I think I'm gonna go Corey Connors with similar ceiling. I mean, you could say I like Corey Connors and Russell Henley. Like when I like one, I always like the other. So I'll go with Corey Connors. Save some salary. Save some ownership.
All right, ready for the 8K, or you want to touch on Varner?
Harold Varner, I'm on him 9K flat. Kind of the comp course thing. He's done well at all of these kind of positional courses, even though you think he's not the most accurate driver, which he's not. But I guess he's good in these club down positions, and he can make a ton of birdies. I bet him also at 42-1. Cash that out because he was a bit too tipped for me. I don't think we're gonna get a public winner here. But yeah, I do like Harold Varner. I zig a lot. I zig when other people zag in the betting market. So if Harold Varner wins, I'll kind of be upset because I did cash it out at 42-1. But it is what it is. I like Varner in DFS. I think he's a solid place. He's going to be very low owned. So I'm going to go HV3.
All right, down to the 8K.
8K, big range.
So massive range. Shout out Sean, our producer, for fitting all these guys in here. This is tough because for me, I'm going to have sprinkles of a lot of these guys, starting with Patton, Connors, the combo, or one of the two. I'm able to get to a lot of these guys. Was on Pendrith pretty heavy last week, paid off for me. Bet him first round leader, hit that. I'm going to be honest, Matt, I didn't end up betting him outright. And I was looking for it after the first round. I completely forgot.
So you would have been sick if he won.
Sick, but I wanted him to. I'm a big Pendrith fan, but I mean, after the first round leader, I was like, oh, I have him on Caesars. Logged into my Caesars. I was like, oh shit, I just didn't have him. It would have been a bad look for me, really.
Yeah.
Personally. So I guess hit him first round leader was lucky. But that's the outright market for you. It's not easy.
Yeah. So who are you going to in this 8K range?
Aaron Wise will be my heaviest.
Me too.
By far.
Me too. He's going under the radar, I think. Actually, maybe not. I feel like more people are saying it.
It's a really good price, first off. $8,100. Last 3 months, he ranks 4th in my model. He's top 5 in approach and birdie or better percentage. 2 of 3 lifetime at the Wyndham. Nothing to show for it, really, but he's putted extremely well. Gained over 2.5 strokes. Both times that he made the cut, you know that I've been a Wise guy just about the whole year. Right back this week. So, I mean, outside of that, I'll probably go back to Ju Young Kim. We've said it the last 3 weeks, but an update on where he's at for the FedEx Cup points. 417 points, and 125th is 350. Safe to say, Ju Young Kim's going to be a PGA Tour player next season. I mean, there's actually no chance he's not. He won't be in the playoffs.
Unless he goes to live.
Yeah, unless he does go to live. I don't see it.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I don't. He likes to be under, it seems.
Yeah, he's a guy that I'm going to have my eye on a lot next year. It's going to be fun to see him in the fall. I feel like he's going to be what Sungjae was when he was 19, 20 years old, just playing 30 to 35 events. Like, he's going to show up to whatever event the PGA Tour's putting out there. And that's what Sungjae did early. Worked for him. I mean, he got a few wins early on in his career, but I think Ju Young's going to be the exact same way. I think he's going to be a grinder. I think he's going to come out there and play every single fall event leading into the Sony. If he doesn't make Century, I mean, not that to say, I think he can win an event from here to Century, but it's probably far stretch to assume that in a couple months.
So you're on Kim and Wise, and who else?
Kim, Wise, and Davis Riley. I just think the Davis Riley price is too good to pass up. Outside of that,
once Riley puts it all together, he's literally going to win because he has those +5 off the tee, +5 at approach, and like he has ceiling
crazy how popular he gets, and then like a few bad weeks, we're pushing him down to 8K flat, and he's going to be like 8 to 12%.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I was on him last week, and he literally was. On Thursday, he was like 3 under on the front 9. And then Friday he had a great round going. It was like 4 under. Then he made a 9 on a par 5. I was like, I don't know how you managed to do that at Detroit Golf Club.
Yeah,
he did. So yeah, I'm going with. I have 4 guys right now. I could narrow that down. So I'm
4 in this range.
4 in this range alone. I didn't realize how big this range is. I'm on Denny at 8-9. I am at Bez at 8-4.
You're really on Bez?
Yes, I bet Bez too. Wise at 8-1 and Rosie at 8 flat. Never I'm on Rose, but I'm on it. So Denny, I'm on 8-9 for a lot of reasons. Specifically, he's had some decent tee to green form of late, but it's kind of wearing. But this is it's probably the only course in it, like out of every course on PGA Tour, where he has never lost strokes on approach. Because we know that Denny's not great with his irons. He kind of does it with his putter, obviously, and driving accuracy. Ranks 23rd on tour in driving accuracy, and he's the best Bermuda putter in the world. I'll just say it. And the irons are just objectively not good. He's got great course history with his approach at the Wyndham, which is a lot of wedges. I know he's fairly popular, but I'll sprinkle some Denny at 8-9. Christian Bezadenhout, he is on one of the biggest heaters he has with the approach and tee to green game, because he's also a putter who makes a scrambler, difficult conditions guy. I would say, but he has those flash weeks like Davis Riley, plus 3.19 on approach at the Open, which is really good for him. Plus 2.62 off the tee at the John Deere Classic, which he should. Plus 5 ball striking at the Charles Schwab. And we know how he is on Bermuda. So if we're getting a ball striking Bezadenhout, I'm in for it, because we know what he does around the greens and on the greens. Aaron Wise, you already touched on him. He is amazing in all of these bucket ranges, unreal. And this is a course he's made the cut twice, and he has had like plus 3 strokes gained putting, and that's kind of what it boils down to for Wise is the putter. So yeah, if we're getting Wise at a place that he can putt well on, I'm all the way in for it. And then Justin Rose, he is really, really, really good from 125 to 175, which is where a majority of these approach shots will come into. He is decently accurate, but the course history is solid. Was about a stroke outside of the playoff last year. So yeah, I like Rosie at 8K flat. I've never once played him this year, but I've got a sprinkle of them. That's 4 guys in this 8. This is a big range. I didn't realize how big. That's probably why I have 4 guys in the range. So that's what I'm doing in this 8K range.
All right, let's move down to the 7s. Top of the 7s, we have Hubbard, Keith Mitchell lead the way. I thought of Keith Mitchell, didn't end up getting to him. The first guy in for me is Sebastian Munoz at $7,700. Another guy who has success on these shorter par 70 courses. We know that he has win equity. He's been very consistent throughout this 2022 season. And not that it slipped my mind, but it just hasn't really occurred to me how many cuts he's made. I mean, he had 11 straight made cuts from the Amex to the Scottish Open, where he ended up missing, and then just across the board, everything that I'm looking for. Solid putter, good on the shorter par 4s from 4 to 450. So I'm on Munoz at $7,500 or 77. Sorry. Speaking of 75, Svensson. I will be on Svensson.
I thought you were going to say Smalley.
No.
Okay, yeah, Svensson. He's a birdie maker for sure. As long as he can avoid the trouble, he's going to contend, literally. And
the thing that I've always went to and did it last week with a couple guys, T24 at the Rocket Mortgage, second in approach, 15th tee to green, down week with the putter, makes a lot of birdies, especially on these type of tracks. And the shorter par 70s ranks 4th overall in my model this season.
Okay, yeah, that'll check the boxes for sure.
Yeah.
You mentioned Hubbard. Did you mention Hubbard? Did you say his name?
I did.
So I'm on Hubbard at, what is he, 7.8?
7.9.
7.9. I'm on Hubbard at 7.9. He's one of the few guys that gains in fairways, gains in wedges, and gains in putting. So I am on Hubbard at 7.9. He's got decent course history. He has made, I'm not sure, I think it's like 4 out of 6 cuts here. He's got top 15 finishes and in some decent form right now. So I'll go to Hubbard at 7.9. And then I got 2 guys in this range. Next guy is Alex Smalley, who I kind of penciled him in as my one and done, like when the season started. He made his debut. Yeah, he made his debut here last year and finished T29. He was kind of making a massive charge late Saturday, but then fell on Sunday. And he did it losing strokes on approach. And we know that Alex Smalley is a tee to green machine. He struggles with the putter, but he gained over 4 strokes putting here. Why is that? He's a member at Sedgefield Country Club. So he knows these greens. These are very nuanced greens. Bob Ross, very nuanced. Did I say Bob Ross? Donald Ross.
I like Bob Ross better.
Artist, as an artist, Tringale-esque. Very nuanced greens, and he knows he's a member here. He knows these greens. So that's why I'm on Alex Smalley. I'm actually trying to find Alex Smalley to make the cut, like odds. So I think he's an absolute lock to make the cut. I don't like bet like stuff like that, but I'm trying to
I bet his top 40 number's solid.
Or that, yeah. Or that. What is all right? Smalley to make the cut minus 175. Definitely don't want to pay that. I'll look in the top 40 market for sure. Because I think
behind you, the Bryson thing. When did you get that?
What'd you say?
The photo behind you.
I've had it.
When and who gave you that?
I ordered it online.
Oh my God.
You like it?
That is a thing of beauty. I just noticed that now.
I've always had that. I got Pebble Beach right there.
You've always had that Bryson behind you?
Every show, dude. Do you not pay attention to me?
Wow. Never mind. I thought that was a new addition. Wanted to shout that out.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
All right. Who else are you on in the 7K, or was that it?
Smalley and Hubbard. That's all I'm on.
Okay. I had, let's see, Mac Hughes was my last guy in.
Wow. Sell me on Mac Hughes.
Putter.
Driving accuracy?
Putter and driving accuracy, yes. We know that he can bring a hot putter. I've mentioned these shorter par 70s. Hughes was third in my model this season. Form is not there by any means. He's missed 3 straight. But prior to that, he was T28 or better in 3 straight as well. I think we're getting a very good price for a guy of Hughes' caliber, especially in a field like this. 77th ranked golfer in the world, which kind of shocked me when I looked into it. Yes. 77th in the world. Made the cut on every single attempt at the Wyndham, 3 for 3. So a hot putter week could mean great things for Hughes, usually does. 71, I'm locking him in there.
Right, yeah. Mac Hughes. I haven't he like pops when he wants to pop, I feel like. But I definitely don't mind that Mac Hughes call.
And last couple months, he's top 5 in the field in these par 4s from 4 to 450. Outside of him, there are some intriguing guys at like 71. Steven Yeager, Lee Hodges, some of these rookies. But I don't see myself getting to too many of these guys. Who else? That's about it. Taylor Moore. How about Taylor Moore?
What a call on you, dude. What a call. I
know. Just made sense. I don't know how you didn't see it.
Yeah, I get you're right.
I feel like I said Taylor Moore like 3 times and it finally worked out. So
no,
ready for the 6K?
6K, yeah.
All right. Towards the top, I really don't have anyone. Like, I'm gonna stay at the upper 7s since I'm not overexposing myself to the 10K range. I'm not getting down here a whole lot. I do like Kramer Hickok at 66.
Driving accuracy.
Off the tee since the end of May. He does extremely well in the par 4s from 4 to 450. Another guy that doesn't have the best of form. He's missed 2 straight cuts. Did have a T13 a few weeks ago at Barbasol. And then FedEx Cup playoffs, 132. It's time to go for Kramer.
So I got someone at the top of this 6K range, and that is Chesson Hadley. Chesson Hadley is good at 2 things, and that's Bermuda putting, which he's really good at, and hitting wedges. And he is kind of a notorious horrendous approach player, but he's on kind of a tee to green run right now. He's gained on approach in 5 of 7, which is awesome, with 3 top 10s in there, which is significant. Good vibes here. He made a hole-in-one last year to kind of get himself into the playoff. I also bet Chesson Hadley at 200 to 1. I think he could definitely contend. He's kind of playing some of the better golf he has in his career these last 2-3 months. So I'm on Chesson Hadley at 6'9". I was on him a few weeks ago at the same price, and I think he paid off for us as well. So it was a 3M Open. Yeah, he finished 10th. So I'm going to Chesson Hadley at 6'9".
In one of the alternate events, did he do well?
What?
One of the alternate events you had him at, and he did decent.
Barbasol, he didn't do good. I thought he was going to finish top 10. He didn't, but I remember being very confident in him.
Okay.
So no one else for you in this upper 6K range?
No, I'm gonna be very limited up here.
All right, yeah, I got 4 guys in the 6K range. I actually deep dive the 6K range, and the only one that I would really go towards is Buckley. I mean, yeah, driving accuracy.
Ball striking guy.
Can get the putter heated up. I'm on Ryan Moore at 6.6. He ranks.
Okay.
He has hit 70% of his fairways this year. 70, and from 100 to 125 ranks 45th. 125 to 150 13th. 150 to 175 6th. That is legit in those three bucket ranges, and it's not like it's fluky. It's like one and then bad in the other. That's consistency with his wedges. Past winner here, and I want to read the course for him because it's really solid, I believe.
Yeah.
He's played. He's missed his last two cuts actually, but 6th, 24th, 53rd, 10th, 37th, and a win. So he knows his way around this course. Obviously, he's not the player he was then, but he is turning it on recently with the driving accuracy and stuff like that. So I'm on Ryan Moore at 6.6K. And then middle of this 6K range, I sprinkled your guy, Ben Coles.
Back to Coles.
You're the guy who pointed him out to me, but Ben Coles, 2 straight missed cuts, but he is really solid with his wedges, and that's literally it. So I'll take a flyer on Ben Coles, who has horrible course history, but that was in 2013 and 2012. So I'm willing to take a flyer on Ben Coles at 6.4. And then finally, my 6K min price gem. I have another one this week. It's Max McGreevy. Jared Wolf was a saint at the whatever event that was. It's at the min price. Max McGreevy. Let me bring the Max McGreevy profile up. Ranks 64th on tour in driving accuracy. Check that box. He ranks 5th from 125 to 175, 63rd from 100 to 125. So he's solid with his wedges. And he's never played at the Wyndham Championship before. What am I looking for? Driver, wedges. I don't want any bad course history tying me down. Ignorance is bliss. This is a course fit. It makes sense. I'm on Max McGreevy at 6K min price flat. And the PGA Tour posted a picture of him today. And don't randomly. It's not like they post Max McGreevy all the time.
They don't post a whole lot of Max McGreevy.
So yeah, Max McGreevy, 6K min price. Put him in all your lineups.
Want something else on McGreevy for Narrative Street?
Narrative Street?
First year on the PGA Tour, obviously. Pretty young guy. 137th in the FedEx Cup playoffs. He's currently 46 points out of 125th.
Max McGreevy, let's have a week, my boy. If you want to bet him, he's 1,000 to 1, by the way.
I will pass for now.
Not winning, but 1,000 to 1.
Let me see the FedEx distribution. So 46 points, assuming no one from him to there get any points. He's going to need, where are we at? PGA Tour events, 46 top 20 finish he needs to push his way into the playoffs comfortably. I mean, top 15 realistically gets him in.
He's doing that. I hate to say it, he's doing that this week.
Top 20. What's his top 20 odds, Matt? You could sell me on that.
Max McGreevy, top 20. Let's go on Bet365. They usually have some nice odds. All right, Max McGreevy, top 20 is top finishes 20 McGreevy.
But he's like
a casual. No, not 16 to 1. I thought it'd be a little better. It's not bad though.
16 to 1 for a top 20.
Yeah.
All right.
16 to 1.
I don't
top
do
40s plus 500.
I don't have anything in 365. I don't even know if I have access to it, but
I can get you some down if you want it.
See what other odds we got for Michigan. I'm not in Michigan right now, but eventually can be tomorrow. Not eventually can be. 20 to 1 on DraftKings.
At top 20?
Top 20. 6 to 1 for a top 40.
That's legit.
Not that a top 40 does him anything. I mean, he's going to have to push himself inside the top 20 because, honestly, if he has to go back through the Korn Ferry Tour grad, I don't think he's getting his card back next year. I just don't think he's that guy. But
yeah, hey, I mean, he doesn't really have any great results, but he's good at two things, and it's driving the ball accurate and hitting your wedges. So,
yeah,
I'll buy McGreevy.
All right, side bet.
Okay, side bet. Let's rock.
I think I've got the last 2.
Yeah, I cannot wait to start tracking this because it's going to be very interesting next year.
You started so hot. I feel like we're somewhat near 500 at this point.
Yeah, I would assume that we are.
But it's really hard to gauge. So let's go. Let's see. We'll go one golfer, 66 to 6,700. You can go first.
6,700. Okay.
I already know mine.
Justin Lauer.
I will go Adam Schenk.
Adam Schenk is sneaky. I deep dove him and I was like, I feel like Schenk is a guy who could pop. I didn't love what I saw, but he is a guy that can pop.
What I did love with Schenk, 3M finished 5th in approach with Mr. Davis. With Mr. Skins.
Mr. David Skins. Your
and
guy.
they both lost 3.5 putting. So,
all right.
I like Schenk. I feel like he fits the type of profile for this place. Might have some exposure to him in DFS, but all right.
Schenk versus Lauer.
That's another
appointment television right there. That's appointment. Everyone's going to be on that, watching that matchup.
Yes, 100%. That'll do it for the 2021-2022 regular season. We'll be back next week for the playoffs. Thanks for joining. Good luck this week. Matt, we'll see you.
Have a good one.